I've seen your name in the Epstein files. Anyhow, all jokes aside, I'm going to tell you exactly why you can't scale and why your employees suck. And I mean, they suck. I don't mean this as an offense, but just to give you my very selfish motivation behind these kinds of videos is I want you guys to make more money. I want everyone who watches this to end up, after watching, to make more money. Now, everyone says that, but genuinely, even from my own selfish motivation, the more money you make, the cooler I look, the more five-figure group members I get, and the more potential business partners I find in the future that already know my name and that owe me something. So you can be very, very sure that the purpose of this video is you making more money. So you might as well just stick through it, get a coffee, and stick with me. Now, let me start this by just kind of guessing. Let's talk about chatters, for example, overall your employees, okay? Let me just guess. Your chatters don't implement what you tell them. It doesn't matter how often you say it. You know you could make more money if you would still do the job yourself, which you can't, of course. They do lazy work, they have no motivation, they do sloppy mistakes. You have to spend hours per day fixing their mistakes and continue to give them feedback. And even if you give them feedback, it feels like you talk against the wall because you tell them something on Monday and on Wednesday they do the same dumbass mistake again. So you're fucking stuck with your employees, and if you know anything about business, then you know employees are your number one bottleneck. Why am I making this video out of all people? And my credentials are very simple. I'll just give them to you before I go to the actual value. But I've run my agency for 6 years. I've been the co-owner of Creator since last year, and I've worked as a fractional CEO in like 50 plus agencies. So I must have hired hundreds, if not thousands of people over my entire lifespan in business. So I'm going to tell you exactly how to fix your employees, and it's fucking simple. I don't know what you guys expect. There's not going to be some complicated ass tracking system or whatever. It's very fucking simple. Just people never talk about this because it doesn't sell courses, it doesn't sell mentorings. So let me quickly get right to it. All right. Now, the problem that most of you have is you think you can automate people, which is impossible. All right. Delegation and automation are two separate things. You can't automate employees. You can't just get someone in your company and be like, hey, here's how you do the job, have fun. I'm going to work on Instagram Reels now. It doesn't work like that. You have to master how to actually delegate a task and not just give it out. And this is what this video is kind of going to be about. Because as humans, we need guidance and we need feedback. I think that makes sense. Now, why is it even crucial to delegate effectively? The reason is you can't scale without giving other people responsibilities because your team's performance is directly linked to your creator's success. So you as the agency owner, you can't keep chatting, you can't just keep posting on Reddit, you can't keep hiring, managing the finances, all uploading feed posts, right? If you still do that, that's probably the reason why you're stuck. But you have to outsource probably 90% of your business at a certain degree to your employees. So if you don't know how to delegate these tasks to your employees, you're going to be capped and you're not going to reach that goal that you whatever set yourself. Okay? It's super fucking important because poor delegation leads to your employees burning out, right? Not being able to perform, them cheating you, tricking you, thinking, oh, he won't notice if I cheat, whatever. You know this, 100%, everyone's been through it. And just major inconsistencies in their work, meaning you all know this, 1 month you have a fuck ton of money, next month it all drops, then it goes up, it goes down. This is not a system issue. You don't need more SOPs, more Instagram systems, whatever. This is your team not implementing shit. So I'm going to tell you how to fix it. Now, the quick reason why you can't automate people, even though it's probably obvious, is humans aren't bots, all right? They need context, they need support, they need motivation. And just telling them what to do without explaining why it is important and how to actually do it just kills their initiative, right? So I'll just quickly tell you how to delegate. Like what is actually needed in the common steps. What are the actual action steps for your agency in order to delegate the right way? First of all, what we're going to start with is clarity. Meaning, explain the exact task they have to do, what outcome you want out of it, what result do they have to achieve, and why it is important. If you even leave one of those things out, you're going to have a problem because even if they just don't know why the task is important, they're never going to fully understand what they're even supposed to do. So first step is give them the clarity of what exactly it means to do this task and what you expect out of it. Just telling them this and this, do this, this, it doesn't make sense. Tell them, I want these many stops, I want these many sales, this reply time, and you're responsible for that now. Makes sense. Cool. Next up, give them the right documentation, meaning they need clear SOPs, they need templates, screenshots, screen recordings, walkthroughs, PDFs, all that shit. And there's not too much documentation. Let me just help you get that out of your head. If you hire a Reddit VA, he needs to have an entire like Google Docs archive of what exactly happens in each stage of the process, what to do when this happens, what to do when this happens. 5 screen recordings of you doing the exact job he has to do with commentary, with all the ifs and don'ts and do's, all that shit, screenshots and the direct loggings, all of it. He needs to have the entire documentation because that means You can now keep him accountable. If you never gave him the full spectrum of the entire task, you can't keep him accountable for fuck-ups. But if everything that could possibly happen, everything he could possibly do, is noted down and you gave it to him and he does a mistake, you can be very binary. Be like, listen, you could have looked it up, you didn't. Okay, fuck you. Now you can keep him accountable and he also knows that. So he's like, well, I can't do mistakes because he told me how to do it. So I might actually have to understand it. Makes sense. People not understanding the task. I'm going to get to all the why that's important and how to actually do it later. Each of those could be a single Loom video in itself. Super fucking important. 99% of agencies don't get the documentation right. And after a year, the employees still don't really know what to do and they're just kind of freestyling to this day. Next up, training, obviously makes sense. Again, could be a Loom video in itself. Train them, let them shadow you first, let them see how it's done, let them ask questions, and let them get better over time. You all know, I think most of you have done either combat sports or any type of athletic measure in the past. I don't walk in a boxing gym and my trainer tells me, okay, you have to throw a jab. And I'm like, okay, cool, boss, thank you. I'll see you at my next pro fight. It doesn't work like that. The first couple of sessions, you focus on the footwork, then on the guard, then on the jabs, then on jab cross, then on a couple combinations. Where do you go? Where's your head? Where's your shoulders? It's step-by-step learning. So they have to go through a real training process that is scripted out. You're just giving them like a screen recording and a call. It's like, okay, you chat like this, you do this, cool. Understood? Any questions? Cool. Here's your chatting shift. Have fun. Of course, they're going to fuck it up. And it costs you months. So they have to go through a dedicated training process first. And depending on how planned through your training process is, this might already be your bottleneck. Trust me on that. Next up, autonomy plus accountability makes sense. Give them the power to do their job, but also track the performance. So they shouldn't be micromanaged. And if they're in higher positions, they should have all the power to get their job done. If it's a chatting supervisor, if it's a manager, you are responsible for giving him the power to make up rules and enforce them. So introduce him to the team, explain to everyone, he is in charge of the entire thing now. He's calling the shots now. Here's the access to everything. Here's your scripts. Here's the OF. Give them the autonomy to work by themselves, but also help them accountable to every KPI, every single report they do. They need to know that they're being supervised. As you know, there's this famous experiment where people thinking they're being supervised, people thinking there's a camera in their room, they behave completely differently. And it's the same with employees. If they know everything they do eventually is going to come back to them, it's going to be watched at and it's going to be tracked and it's going to be talked through in a one-on-one meeting, you can imagine how they work. The problem is most of the employees don't think that what they do will actually get controlled. Maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, but most of the messages your chatters send, nobody really looks at it. And this is why they fuck up. They know how to do it. Let me break this to you. Your chatters, your employees, you would be amazed how much they actually know already. You would be amazed how much they could actually do their job better. There's just no incentive to do it. And this is why they fuck up. Last but not least is feedback loops. Again, I've done a couple of videos about that. It doesn't matter which employee, from the lowest ranking Reddit V8 chatter to the supervisor or the head of marketing, if they're not getting daily feedback in some form, you are leaving money on the table and you're going to set yourself up for failure. As annoying as it is, as minor as it seems, if you don't give your employees daily feedback, or if someone isn't giving them daily feedback, you're just leaving money on the table. Like, there's literally a pile of money that is laying there and you say, no, thank you. I would not like that actually. I would actually like to not earn that type of money because I'm too lazy to record a 10-minute Loom or watch two chats for 15 minutes. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me. And every single time we went back from daily feedback to like weekly feedback or less feedback, our numbers dropped. It is the same every time over the last 6 fucking years. Okay? Super fucking important. I'm gonna go through the actual examples, but quick advertising break. Let me quickly put on my ad hat. And no, I'm not gonna sell your course. I'm not gonna do anything weird. This is my advertising hat right here. It's gonna take you a minute. Just stick with me. Trust me. Now, I'm holding an event in Prague by the end of the month, the Club 17 Scaling Summit, which is the second event I did. The first one was 40 members completely for free in Warsaw. It was the biggest event in Europe. And I want to top that in, basically 13 days. Oh, look at this. Oh, you want to join the event so bad. You want to join the event. You absolutely want to be there. But okay, jokes aside, quick overview, because this is not going to be some bullshit. This actually makes sense and it actually makes you money. Got 30 spots for 30 agencies. We had over 5 speeches planned, more to follow. And we're doing one-on-one scaling sit-downs, meaning every single member will get one-on-one consulting from me and my entire agency team. The employees I'm yapping about right now, you're going to meet them. So you know I also walk the walk and not just talk shit. One-on-one scaling sit-downs to individually look at your agency and figure out a roadmap to scale. Got a networking event with 20 plus 100K agencies from my own personal network that I arranged. Every single member gets workbooks, course access for my internal video courses, all that shit about recruiting, about the agency as a whole. Got a videographer, photographer for all you guys' personal brands, Instagram, and access to me and my own employees, and a fuck ton of other things that I don't want to like make this video and this ad break too long because I want to take off my advertising hat in a sec. So the only thing you need to do is DM me Prague on Telegram. It's basically for fucking free. This event costs like $250 if you're in a 5-figure group, 500 if you're a normal member, just to essentially pay for the location and all the flights for the speakers, my agency team, whatever. I'm probably going to lose money on this anyway. So it's basically a pair of fucking sneakers. The only thing you need to do is DM me Prague. Going to ask you a few questions and then talk it through with my agency team, see if you get accepted. You don't want to miss out on this. Trust me. This is the second event I'm doing in like 2 years. So, I have to one-up it. Anyway, the advertising break is over. I'm going to put off my advertising hat and go back to the actual examples. I'm just going to run it through. This could be another designated loom, but just to kind of give you guys the structure for that. Now, let's say you hire a chatter. What needs to happen if you hire them? You hire a chatter. What needs to happen after you have them through all the hiring process, whatever, through all the filtering? First thing he needs to get is, what do we talk about? Clarity, a designated archive of all the information about the job, all the ifs and do's and don'ts, everything that he's supposed to do with explanations, examples, like a whole archive of things. He needs to be able to use that for the next 6 months when working. Every time he has a problem, he looks at this Google Docs or this PDF, scrolls through objection handling, section 4. What if the guy says he doesn't have money? Okay, I have to do exactly this. Cool. What if the guy wants to meet up? Okay, let me see up, possible situations, meet up. Here's the exact hotkey, the exact framework, and the exact things I'm supposed to do and I'm not supposed to do. Cool. He needs that. Then he goes to his entire training process. He goes to the supervising other people chat before he even goes to the profile himself. Then he starts chatting his first 4-hour shift while someone's watching over him, giving him constant feedback. He gets through his entire feedback loop. For managers, it's kind of the same. You teach them how to manage. You have to empower them, right? You need to give them all the permissions and all the introduction to the team so they can actually manage. Most of your supervisors and managers don't feel like they have the power to enforce. They've never been truly introduced as the new guy in charge, and this is why they're hesitant to give feedback. So here, the process needs to be arranged a different way. The same for VAs. Now, again, this could be separated Loom videos. I can do them in the future. I might even do them like this week. But keep in mind, every single one of your employees has a designated hiring funnel, has a designated training funnel to take care of all the mistakes that we talked about before. More importantly, I'm going to run you through common mistakes. This is the fun part of the video. If you watched until now, you're a real one, all right? But this is the fun part of the video because you will probably see yourself in at least a couple of these. Now, first common mistake is vague instructions, meaning you tell someone like, okay, just do it like this, and then you expect them to figure it out yourself. Meaning, let's say I'm a YouTuber, for example. I record a fuck ton of YouTube videos. I know how it works. If I want to record a new YouTube video, I only need a location where I can film it. Like, okay, I'm going to film it there. And I need like bullet points to talk about. I rarely script my videos. I basically never do it. I have like 3 bullet points and then I just keep on yapping. But I need like 5 bullet points and a location. So if I was one of you guys or one of most agency owners, if I hire someone to record videos for me, for example, I will probably just give him like, here's the 5 bullet points to talk about and you can film the videos here. Now, this employee is going to fuck it up because I, as the basically head of the operation, have to understand he doesn't know how to set up the camera. He doesn't know which settings to do, how to do the lighting, how to start the video. He doesn't know, blah, blah, blah. Should I do it in sections? Can I cut the video? Yes or no? Which outfit should I wear? Yeah, he doesn't know all this shit. So just because for me it is obvious how the job is being done doesn't mean it is for him. So if I have to task someone to record a YouTube video for me, I will do exactly what I'm saying right now. Give him an exact breakdown. This, you click this button, you set up the camera like this. If the lighting looks like this, it's good. You start the video like this. You wear this outfit. If you're done, you do this. Cool. You need to give them specific instructions. One of the common mistakes. Next tips, not checking in or giving feedback regularly. We talked about this. Not even giving feedback as a whole. I mean, that's important anyway, but just checking in with your employees. Hey, how's it going, my man? Do you have any problems? Give me a breakdown. What were your blockers yesterday? What's your vision for today? What do you plan on doing? You have to check in with them, especially when they start to do the task. Because if they feel left alone, they're never going to strive to be better. You just remove all the incentives to do a good job. Okay? So, not checking in, not giving feedback regularly, major fuck up. Most agencies do. At least 90% of all agencies I talk to. Next up, delegating outcome without authority. So, What do I mean by this? And we talked about this before. If you hire a supervisor and you tell them, yeah, you have to manage the chatters, but you never give them the power to discipline chatters, you never give them the power to enforce shit, they're not going to be able to do their job. So you have to introduce them to the team, tell them exactly what they're allowed to do in terms of you can give them fines, you can give them fuck ups, you can give them negative feedback, you can report to me if you fire someone, yeah, if you want to fire someone, right? So if you want to get people to have a certain outcome, give them all the authority. Also, common mistake. But you guys don't know because they will never tell you. Your supervisors never tell you this. They don't even know themselves. So you have to give them that proactively. Next up, hiring the wrong skill set for the task. I think that is pretty obvious. I see people hiring supervisors or managers that have no fucking clue on how to talk to people. They're like nerds, they're good in chatting, they're just promoting their best chatter, but this best chatter has no people skills. So you might want to get the third best chatter as a supervisor because it turns out maybe he is an absolute gem when it comes to talking to people, being emotionally intelligent, motivating people, and like feeling like their friend. So get the right skill set for the right task, makes sense? Last but not least, delegating strategy when you should delegate execution. Meaning, most of you guys give your employees an explanation, do it like this, but you never really tell them what the end result should look like. So what I mean is, you give them the theory, but you don't give them the practical element. So, okay, you can text this here, here's the theory, but you never tell them how to actually execute it, on how it looks in real life, what it actually results in. Example, if I want someone to wash my car, I hire someone to wash my car, right? If I tell them, okay, you take the water, you put it on there, you put the soap there, then you drive around, there's a 50% chance my car is going to come back still dirty because he did all the steps I told him, but there was still dirt on it. But he was like, okay, I did all the steps. What the fuck you want from me? So what I will do is I will tell him, okay, the execution looks like this. Bring my car back clean without any dirt on it. Now, the way to go there is this, and this, the soap, the water, whatever. But delegate the execution and then explain the strategy to get there. Sounds super fucking simple. I know it sounds fucking simple, but you would be amazed how many people fucked it up. But common mistakes, we got there. Now, next up, put systems before people. Now, I've talked about this many times that you as an agency are the number of your systems combined. But build the system first, then plug the people in. So, what I mean by that is, don't hire someone for a task and then create a system on how he has to do it, because that's going to mean he's going to fuck it up. So you build the system, you do the job yourself, and when you figured out a way to get it done efficiently and consistently, you plug someone in. Meaning, this is why you don't hire chatters when you're starting out. This means you don't hire a marketing manager when you don't get any new subs, right? Next up, for the systems, use tools, Trello, Notion, ClickUp, Slack, Loom, etc. Every agency has different tools they want to use. For example, I only like Trello. I use Slack and Loom, but for example, Notion, I just don't like. Maybe you do. But try to use as many tools as you can to standardize things, to have an archive of things, because especially when you scale, you're going to have a fuck ton of these. Makes sense. Because every task needs a process, especially creative tasks. Trust me on this. You think creative tasks are hard to outsource? They're not. You just don't have a system for it. So if I want to outsource doing Instagram research, being a marketing guy, whatever it is, I will give them all the shit I've talked about before, plus 50% extra, because creative tasks need even more processes than before. So the buzzword for this chapter is your systems decide how well your employees work. This is like your soldiers and your guns. Your systems are the gun you give the soldier. Of course, if the soldier doesn't know where to aim, the gun is useless. But if the gun doesn't shoot, if the gun is jammed, you can have a fucking Marine fucking SEAL Team 6 guy. He won't kill anyone because the system isn't there and the system is lacking. Keep that in mind, because that's the easiest way to burn your employees, is if their systems are lacking, you don't even know where you're losing money. Now, how do you actually know you delegated the right way? I'm quickly going to cover that. Now, you know you delegated when your results are consistent even when you're not watching, meaning you take a day off, you go, I don't know, you go out with your bros, you go on a vacation, you're flying, you're sick, whatever, but the numbers don't drop. Because if your numbers drop when you're not there, guess fucking what? You didn't delegate, you just rage baited people into doing a job whenever you're looking, right? That's not a job. That's essentially you just rage baited them into doing something. You're fucking Tom Sawyer. It doesn't make sense. Next up, team members proactively solving problems, meaning if there's a problem in the chatting, if you don't delegate the right way, you always have to find it. You always have to tell them, hey, this is going wrong. You have to fix it like that. And they're like, yeah, boss, okay. But if you delegate the right way and people feel actually responsible for their own department, for their own job, they're going to come to you. Hey, we have this problem in the chatting. I thought about how to fix it. Here's a couple of ideas. What do you think? Then you can just say, okay, idea number 3, thumbs up, cool, do it like that. Boom. This is when you know you're delegating the right way. And if these things don't apply to you, then that's a wake-up call. You need to fix something. Next up, you have fewer urgent interruptions and more strategic time. Makes sense. Better delegation. Monkey, give banana to more monkey. So top monkey doesn't need to search banana anymore. Other people search banana from him. More time to do monkey things. Makes sense. Pretty basic. Right. Now, next up, to give a couple of final words for this video. And I want you guys to really embrace that. Delegation isn't a handoff, it's a leadership skill. Meaning, you delegating a task doesn't mean you give away something and you task someone to do something. It means you essentially transform your own position. You are not just giving away the task, it's you let someone be a part of your process and you just go up one step, and now instead of working on the task, you work on this person getting the task done, which means instead of chatting for 8 hours, someone else is doing what you did, and now you spend 1 or 2 hours a day helping them chat for 8 hours. So you're not just giving away time, you're just minimizing your time invest to get the same shit done. Sounds a bit complicated, but you get what I mean. Next up, people need systems, structure, and support. Makes sense, we talked about that. The better your delegation, the more scalable your agency becomes. And I mean that. I really mean that. If people ask me, okay, like I want to scale, I'm not exactly sure how to get to that next revenue ballpark. Trust me, delegation and systems is the buzzword. Not like better Instagram SOP, a better Reddit system, or like more marketing. It's always better systems, and I mean much better systems, and delegating to your employees the right way. If you have the two of them, you can do anything. You can start 5 new traffic sources, get 5 more creators, and have the chatting done in a day, because your systems and your employees allow you to do so. So keep in mind, I hope this video was helpful. Obviously, questions are always appreciated. You can always hit me up in DMs, hit me up in a group, and make sure, let me quickly put on my advertising hat again. Make sure to DM me Prague to join the event. This is a 1 in a million. The next event is not going to come before 2027. So you want to be a part of this. By the time we're recording this, we got like, I think 9 or 8 spots left. So I'd love to see the majority of you on this event. So, oh, you want to join the event so bad. Anyway, done with the advertising hat. Hope everyone has a wonderful day, and talk to you in Club 17 soon. Bye-bye.